My name's Walter Moreau. I'm the director at Foundation Communities. Welcome to Balcones Terrace. We are so excited to cut the ribbon today and start the process to welcome home 123 new residents. We'll be handing out keychains to residents real soon. This just makes me so proud, and I'm really honored that the city is here, and HUD and private funders, our contractor. I'll thank everybody in a minute. It's hot, so I really hope everybody will take advantage of going inside and taking a tour in the air conditioning and seeing our new home. If you haven't figured it out, this was a hotel. This was a Town Suites Marriott, 2 buildings. This right here was a parking lot, and we got rid of that, planted grass, and have secured this as an outdoor courtyard space for our residents to enjoy. In addition, inside on the tour, you'll see there's a food pantry, a fitness center, a community room, lots of resident service offices. We really want to create the community space that that helps residents to thrive and find their neighbors, not just a small apartment. So we're going to keep all the remarks really short, and I want to start off by welcoming one of our residents from Skyline Terrace, Kelly Alexander, who's going to share a bit about her story. Please welcome Kelly.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, and I'm honored to be here. Thank you so much. My name is Kelly Alexander, and Austin is my home, but I've lived in many other places, as I'm sure a lot of us have. I became unsheltered, and I lived unsheltered on the streets for just short of 2 years in Southern California. I was born there in Oceanside. I had gone through a very traumatic event. I lost my significant other due to heart attack, and I tried to, I was the first responder, tried to do CPR, and I couldn't save him. So that left me struggling with grief and depression, and I've been the type of person to work hard all my life. I've always worked, raised family, but at this time I just couldn't seem to find the employment, at that time, and I guess I needed to heal. I guess it's what it was. So living on the street, it was very difficult, scary at times, especially for myself being a woman. It's a whole different monster out there, and being unsheltered. And I like to make this a point, that you are not sheltered. You don't have a tent. You don't have a car. You're not couch surfing. You are literally unsheltered. So I'd make sure I was in a very public place to be seen, where there was traffic under a street light was very important to me. Even though I was robbed numerous times, assaulted, and toward the end on my road trying to get back home, I was even bear sprayed with bear spray, not pepper spray, bear spray. Not much fun. And I was a witness in court with that to my own my own assault. All I knew is that I needed to get home. I needed to get back to Austin because my adult children were here. This is my home. I initially moved to Austin in 1986, so it is home to me, and I just knew I needed to reconnect with them, but I knew that I needed to do things on my own. I wasn't going to be a burden on my children and just go and, live with them, and it's been nothing but a blessing being home. In November of last year, year before, 2022, I was able to get into the Salvation Army downtown, and was there a number of months, and I was part of the population that spoke to their closing and the wonderful things that happened with me on that journey. Then I was blessed to get into ASWC, Austin's Shelter for Women and Children, and great people there. I had a wonderful caseworker. She helped me get started, and like to call getting my knee back. I started working again at Austin State Hospital, and I loved it. I loved the patients more than I did the staff. But that proved to be a little more difficult on me at that time. I don't think I was ready for such delving myself into that healthcare field again. But one very important thing did happen when I returned to Austin. Myself being my inquisitive self, and I don't like being idle, I started, looking for resources, and up came Foundation Communities, and I signed up, tried to get on waiting lists, and then I just kind of forgot about it, and then lo and behold, I get a phone call from FC, and I'm like, oh wow, and they said I'd been approved to be moved into a studio apartment community of single adults. I was like, oh God, yes. I don't have to continue to stay in the shelters. I'm moving up. It was great. Then August of last year, I moved into one of SC's properties, and I have great love for my neighbors there at Balcones Terrace. It's beautiful there. And I remember coming onto the property and getting ready to fill out my application, and I was greeted by Jeff there, and he said, welcome to your forever home. And I thought to myself, this is a blessing. I'm in a studio, it's mine, and yeah, I just couldn't believe it. I didn't know then, but I look at it now that he meant this is your forever home, meaning Foundation's communities, not just that one property, because there's so many different properties that can speak to different human beings at their time of need in their particular time in their life. It was refreshing. I was able to enjoy events from Foundation's communities, the social clubs, supper clubs, bingo nights, parties, outings at museums, art studios. We're going tomorrow to an art studio, wonderful. And they also gave me an opportunity to work in supportive employment, which I thoroughly loved. I got to be a part of different properties, and I got to be a part of getting to know staff on a deeper level, and also being back in the gamut of loving my neighbor and being in a position where I could give back from what has been given to me through Foundation's communities. Nothing but blessings. Someone, where is he? Mr. Norris. Don't know where he is. Someone asked me, Norris, what would I say to someone who is living unsheltered on the streets right now or in a homeless shelter? What would I say? I would encourage them to apply, get on the list, apply for a place, a beautiful place like this, Balcones Terrace. These places save lives and give chances to people like me and like you, like all of us. The one thing that allowed me to do was to decompress, because being unsheltered and on the streets, I don't even know, no words. But I was so pleased when I was accepted at Skyline, and I would like to tell people that if you are blessed to be able to be a part of this lovely community, You'll have your own space. You'll have people who are looking out for you. You'll have your own place to prepare meals. You don't have to worry about the streets and where you're going to eat and what resource center, and your own bathroom, which is wonderful. And you're safe. You're safe. And that's very important. You can put your shoes. One good thing that I looked at and I cried my first night in my space, I woke up and my shoes were still there. It's a blessing, because I spent some time in with no shoes, and I tease now, but somehow I'm serious. Walk a mile in my sock feet. I do say that. I'm just thankful in so many ways. Thankful to Foundations Communities. Thank you to the City of Austin. I spoke, yes, so wonderful. And of course, I thank my God. Thank you, Father. And all I can say is thank you, Foundations Communities, for giving me a home. And thank you to the City of Austin again. And I made it. I'm home. I was strong then, and I didn't even know it. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly, for sharing your story. Thank you for your courage. 50 apartments here have vouchers for folks who've been homeless long-term. The other 73 apartments are for folks who would otherwise be homeless. It's really a homeless prevention program. We're grateful to the Housing Authority of the City of Austin for helping us arrange those 50 vouchers. Our biggest funder and our most critical support has come from the City of Austin, so it's my honor to welcome Mayor Watson to come share a few words.
Well, thank you, Walter, and I want to say congratulations to you, but I also really can't start without saying thank you to Kelly. That's what a wonderful testimony and graphic example and reason personified by you about why we do this and why we ought to be doing this. You're a spirit, and you're a great hope. So thank you for sharing that. Let's give her another round of applause and thank her for that. I also want to recognize a couple of people that are here with the City of Austin. You're going to hear from our director of the Austin Housing Finance Corporation in a few minutes, Mandy DeMayo, but I also want to recognize Councilmember Ryan Alter. He's sitting here. And I want to say a special thanks for being here this morning to our relatively new, I don't know how long we say new, but our new city manager, T.C. Broadnax. I will tell you that I feel very strongly that it's a real sign that he is here with us today. It's a real sign for a couple of reasons. One is it demonstrates his commitment to what it is that Foundation Communities and the City of Austin working in this way is doing as we address people that are unhoused and address their long-term stability. So I want to say a special thank you for being here. The second reason is, I indicated he's only been here a couple of months, but when we hired him, he promised it was going to get cooler. And he tells me he's still working on that, and around November he thinks it'll the things he's working on will kick in, and we'll give him a big thanks at that point in time. But I will just say to you that I am really excited that T.C. Broadnax is with us. He's going to be a great city manager for the City of Austin and a great leader for our city. With that being said, just a few comments. The truth of the matter is that we really know that there are thousands of people in our city looking for a place, as Kelly has pointed out, to call home. Many of them come from being chronically homeless. I came into office telling folks that I promised we would put affordability first and we would address the unhoused in our city. And what I love about this and what we're doing here today is this community and Foundation Communities, as a general rule, that it works to achieve both goals. With partnerships that the city can have with organizations like Foundation Communities, we can create beautiful communities like what Kelly has described and what we have here with us now for our most vulnerable Austinites. And as Kelly clearly pointed it out, but I want to highlight it, this is not just a roof over a head. It is a new chance. It is hope. It is stability. It's love that otherwise would be lost. And that takes all of the services and the people who care about people and make sure that those services are carried out. And I tell you, as mayor of this city, I couldn't be prouder of the work that Foundation Communities does and all of the people with Foundation Communities and working in this community. I couldn't be prouder of the work you're doing and the people you serve. And Walter, I can remember when we first opened Garden Terrace. That was the very first residence for single adults. That was 20 years ago, I might add. And we funded that with the first $1 million, my memory is. We funded that from what was then known as the Mayor's Affordability Fund. And so I'm very proud of that. And I'm told by some of your staff that some of the residents that were there originally are still there. That is the stability of which I'm talking about. Since then, we've partnered in more than 20 other housing communities together, and we've still got a long way to go to answer the need for affordability here in Austin, but we're going to continue to do that. So to Walter and all of the Foundation Community staff, congratulations for this wonderful day, and thank you for the commitment that you make to this work. And with that, the last thing I'll say before Walter comes back up here is I also, and he's going to introduce her, but I want to personally, since I have the microphone, say thank you to the regional administrator of HUD that is here with us, Candace Valenzuela. We really appreciate the fact that you're here today. We know that the federal government is celebrating 50 years of CDBG money, and in my opinion, as a mayor, as a former mayor, CDBG money is such a big part of what we do. And so I want to say thank you for your taking the time to be here. Walter, God bless you for what you do, and all the folks that work at Foundation Communities, thank you very much.
I'm honored to introduce Candace, if you'd like to say a few words. This is 50th anniversary of CDBG.
Yes.
I just throw that out there because there's a lot of city staff. That's Community Development Block Grant Funds, key piece of funding to make this happen.
It's something I personally appreciate when people translate the acronyms. There are over 500 acronyms on the HUD website that I downloaded and made into flashcards. So when folks translate it, I personally feel a little bit better and a little bit happier for the public because CDBG is absolutely amazing. And before I get started, I actually want to recognize our new regional director for CDBG, Savin Ben Johnson. She actually comes to us from DC. She used to administer the home program, correct?
All the CDBG program.
All of the CDBG program for the country. And so she, as a Texan, felt the call back to Texas. I understand, right? And so it's an honor and a privilege to have her, and I'm looking forward to you all getting to know her. So again, it's such an honor to be here. Thank you so much, Walter, for inviting me to be here. And thank you so much for your kind words, Mayor Watson. It's just absolutely a testament to the hard work, the actual investment that you're making in the people of Austin that we're here today. And it really, really good to see you again, Mr. Broadnax. I stand in a dual place again. I know that when my secretary left, I was both really sad, but also incredibly happy with our acting secretary. And I'm, as a Dallasite, sad to have left you, but I also know that you left us a capable team and really happy to perpetuate you in other parts of Texas, specifically in Austin. So wonderful to see you again, too. For those of you I haven't had the opportunity to meet, my name is Candace Valenzuela, and I am HUD's regional administrator I am a presidential appointee of the Biden-Harris administration, representing Acting Secretary Todman in New Mexico, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, but also in my beautiful and perfect home state of Texas. And so it's always an honor and a privilege to be able to look at beautiful, beautiful properties that HUD has had some part in. And I have to say, I really wanted to go home after you spoke, Kelly. I think we're done. With respect to you, Mayor.
I didn't want to stand up.
You had to immediately follow her. Yes, yes. Because you basically get at the heart of what we're trying to do at HUD. Look, we are facing a housing crisis, and for those of you who are sitting here or standing here in the heat, I'm not going to take too long, but you also understand this is not just an annoyance. A housing crisis is an existential crisis. It challenges our ability to exist. It challenges our ability to be human. And Foundation Communities is getting to the heart of what we want to do. It's not just making sure that we get past that shortage of housing units. We have a 2 to 5 million units shortage, depending on who you ask, and that is a serious issue. But also making sure that we are fostering communities. And when it comes to exiting homelessness, especially unsheltered homelessness, I have experience with it too. I won't give you my life story, but you used a really good word, and that was decompress. Lots of folks think as soon as you get off the street and into roof over your head, all of the problems are solved. It's done. You're happy. Now you can go and find a job, and everything is great. But the memory of homelessness stays with you. The feeling of not being able to know if your shoes are going to still be there. For me, I went off to college, and I was actually hoarding food in my in my dorm room refrigerator because I wasn't aware for a while that it would always be there. So there's always a little thing that you always take with you when you've been homeless. And so there's something really, really important in having a beautiful place like this one when there's wraparound services, right? So there's healthcare, there's mental health care, there's coaching, but also a real intentionality toward establishing a community, a basis for which people can launch their lives, for which people can live their lives. And so on the 50th anniversary of CDBG, it's an absolute honor and a privilege to know that HUD's money, that the money that the Biden-Harris administration has been fighting for the past few years is going to worthy projects like this one. Not just putting people in boxes, but building communities in Austin, fortifying communities in Austin, ensuring that we preserve culture, because housing affordability is culture, making sure that we have labor, because affordable housing is affordable labor, and I can't say that enough, and ensuring that the economic success that we've seen here can continue. And I know that Mayor Watson has had that vision for quite a while, and this is just an extension of that. So I want to thank you all today, and Walter, just keep up the good work. Look forward to having you back here, or having me back here.
Y'all are invited back for a supper club or other volunteer activities. Once the building's full of life, that's what it's about. A few final thank yous. This was an old hotel. We had some real construction challenges. BEC Construction, Scott and team, thank you for stepping in and fixing things. And also to Travis and Allensworth Law for helping us on the legal front on all of it. We have a grant from the Home Loan Bank of New York, the Disability Opportunity Fund, provided support. And we have a tremendous number of individual donors. Some of you are here. I'm so grateful to the McLean family, to the Harslam family, people who care about you, Kelly, who care about stories like yours and helping their neighbors. So welcome to Balcones Terrace. Please go in the air conditioning and have a little tour and some water and celebrate today. Thank you. Oh, and we're going to cut the ribbon.